Okay, y'all. So first things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's episode down below. So we're gonna start with Elizabeth and Lucky. With their scene, it was just about Lucky finally telling Elizabeth that Christine was the one that caused the accident, told that she cut the brake wires and everything. So she ends up asking one, how long did he know or whatever. And two, why isn't Christina in jail? So he went to saying how she was messed up about it or whatever. I seen it the first time it happened, or I knew the first time it happened, and she feels bad about it. She thought it was Ava or whatever. She just making excuses for this girl. So he finally got around to the point talking about Sam, and he feels like he owes Sam because of the Lulu situation and all that, and that's part of the reason why he did it. I said, it sounds like a load of crap to me. It sounds like a load of crap to me. I said, she definitely needs to be in jail, because Elizabeth was like, what's stopping her from trying to take Ava out again? I said the same thing. Do y'all think that she would make an attempt like that again, or do y'all think because of the whole blackmail situation that that's what's going to stop her from doing anything else now that Alexis is involved? Let me know down below. He also ended up telling her that he helped cover it up. So if he go say anything right now, then he going to jail too. And she was like, she don't want that for Aiden, not just for herself, but for Aiden as well. But yeah, they ended up talking about she about to get the cast off. And what else did they talk about? I think he said he was making her dinner. He got up to leave, and there was a box down there. I said, is he about to propose? I said, what's that, a ring? I seen something in the spoilers. It says Elizabeth is surprised or something like that. I might be wrong, but it says something about she surprised. I don't know if that was about today's episode where she seen or found out Christina was the one who did it, or is it about that they didn't open it, she didn't open it, so we don't know if it's earrings, we don't know if it's a ring. We assuming it's a ring, y'all. Do y'all think it's a ring? Let me know down below. Well, yeah, that's all that happened with them, if I'm not mistaken. Christina and Michael, she just went by to see him, and I said everybody going to see him except Sonny. Why is Sonny avoiding him? Does he feel guilty? Did y'all see that preview this morning? What happened? I think it was just based on the court where Carly reveals that Nina's the one that poisoned Drew or whatever. Rick is going after Sasha, asking, is it true or whatever, and she look like she freaking out. The next thing you know, Michael telling Rick to stop, and he goes over there or whatever, and she's telling him that it's too soon, but the baby's coming, and look like Carly gonna find out, because they say, based on the spoiler, that Carly confronts Jason. So apparently everything's supposed to come out in court, y'all. I'm wondering, like, I'm trying to wait because they show Tracy on the stand as well. So I'm like, okay, they don't need to be the only thing they come out. Tell about Nina and Drew since she want to be on hush mode. Oh, also, on tomorrow's episode, look like Rick calling somebody and saying, get to the courthouse now. But yeah, with Christina and Michael, she starts about to see him. They end up catching up. She ends up telling how Molly and her are doing better now. Talked about her and Alexis. They end up talking about the court date. She ends up saying how she's hoping that Michael doesn't compromise Willow. And I said, that's the problem. That's the problem right there. Everybody giving their 2 cents. Oh, she also said how they don't even get to see the kids anymore because, you know, Drew over here keeping them close. And Michael does know, y'all. He does know that Drew got some property, or he buying some property in D.C. and he's trying to relocate there. I said, I'll bring that up in court. That she can't just do that, take his kids without saying anything. Oh, they could bring that up in court, too, that she already took Wiley without even informing him, since they want to snitch and stuff. Since they want to snitch about Sasha carrying Michael child. But, yeah, they was just talking about that, but I was saying how that's the problem right there. Everybody keep giving their 2 cents. Michael and Willow would have been worked things out if everybody hadn't butted in. Button in or whatever. But yeah, they was just talking about the court case, and she was saying how much Willow has changed, and he was saying how maybe Drew hasn't been manipulating her. Maybe that's who she is. And I've seen a lot of people saying that as well. And once again, I see a lot of people saying how she deserves to lose her kids. I still say they need to split custody. I still think they need to split custody, but we'll see how it plays out, y'all. But it goes down this week, y'all. What else? Let me see if anything else about Christina and Michael. I already said Michael knows Drew trying to relocate to DC. Laura and Alexis. Yeah, Laura and Alexis. With them, y'all already know Laura was saying how $10 million is missing from Ace's fund account. And look, I said when Alexis, she told her, what she tell Laura? Do you want a seat or have a seat? I said she had to think of a lot. That's why she offered her a seat. I think she said, you want to sit down? She said something else. Like she had to think of a lot real fast, y'all. Talking about some, let me see. She said she invested it. She took it upon herself to invest it. I was like, but you ain't supposed to do that. Don't you? If she was going to do that, wasn't she supposed to run it by Laura first? Wasn't she supposed to? I was like, you finna get caught, especially with Marco. Suzanne don't sit up here. Suzanne gonna bring the doggone. She heard them talking about, you know, Ace little fund account, the $10 million, all that. This girl done went, Suzanne done went got the little balance sheet to show, everything that tells where the money went and stuff. Not only did she do that, she told Marco to pull up the doggone account. He came in later talking about some, yeah, I got it, and I have some. He had some questions. Look like he ends up saying he don't think it's legit. I said he finna run tell what's his name, his dad is Sitwell, everything, because he already know about them trying to have Christina committed. So they gonna put two and two together. They gonna put two and two together. But yeah, he was like, he think it's a shell company. He think they trying to launder money. More than money. Lord, he thinks they trying to launder money. I said, you know what? Laura needs to stick to, not Laura, Alexis needs to stick to what she been doing, being a lawyer, because she bad at this. She already done got caught. What, it been a week, 2 weeks, a month? I don't know how long it's been since they been blackmailing. Did she say a month? Did somebody say it's been a month and a half or something like that? But yeah, I was like, she done got caught already. I said, she done got caught already, and they still say that Rick this week supposed to strong arm her. I don't know what that means. I don't know if he finna get ready to try to make her make more payments or what, but they said this week that's what's supposed to happen. But yeah, she talking about some, first she said investments, and once again, the dude Marco knows about it. He knows about Christina about to get committed. He's seen the paperwork or whatever, and I was like, yeah. It cut off, y'all, but I was saying I want to know what Sitwell and Marco's end game is. Is he in on it, whatever this man got going on, or what? Let me know your thoughts down below. Like I said, Alexis ends up, first she was acting clueless or whatever, like she don't know what $10 million. Then she was like, oh, it's about investments, and I know you busy or whatever. And that's when Laura ends up leaving. But before she left, the lady Suzanne ends up saying, I think she congratulated her because she has more extended family, and that's when they showed Laura going to Lulu house or whatever. But yeah, Rocco and Lulu. So Rocco came in. He ends up seeing the video of Gio on stage slamming his violin. He ends up asking a question. That's when Dante popped up out of nowhere. He popped up out of nowhere, and he ends up, they both end up explaining to him what's going on. Lulu admitted that she's the one that he probably heard from because she didn't tell him. That's not what I was supposed to be saying. But she ended up saying, she's the one that he heard because she was telling Lois or whatever. So that's how he heard. That's what she think anyways. But yeah, when they showed a knock at the door, I said it's about time, because they said Brooklyn and Lulu, they supposed to come face to face. So I was like, here you go. But no, it was just Laura. It was just Laura. But yeah, they ended up explaining things to him, and he was like, maybe I could reach out to him and talk to him. But Dante was like, no, he gonna end up handling it himself to, see how things go or whatever. I said, I feel like he gonna end up opening up to Dante, maybe even Brooklyn, because she didn't know. But I got a lot to say about the Brooklyn situation. Hold on. But first we're gonna talk about Sonny and Gio. So Gio ends up going by to see Sonny, and they finally it's a doggone guard. What happened to the other guy? What happened to the other dude with the dark hair? What was his name? What's his name? Frank? His name was something. But yeah, finally he got a guard. About doggone time he got a guard outside. Cause what? Everybody ain't got no guard. They ain't got no cameras. Oh my goodness. But yeah, and he was like, before I come in, I need to ask you a question. Did you know? And Sonny was like, no, he didn't know. And Gio basically didn't believe him. He was like, why would you help me or whatever? There had to be a reason why. He kept asking. He was just saying, he cared about him. They kept saying, everybody kept saying how they grew up around him. And, Sonny even offered him to stay there. He was like, no. And he called him Sonny. I don't think that's the first time he called him Sonny, but I'm used to hearing him say Uncle Sonny. I was like, okay, Gio, they ain't know nothing about none of this. And they was just talking about, him finding out about Dante, and he was like, he didn't hate Olivia, he never did, and he was just saying he was hurt, and it took a while to get things in order. So he ends up trying to convince him or tell him that it's gonna take time, but Dante this and Dante that or whatever. And I said, Gio gonna have to figure this out for himself. He definitely is. He don't need nobody telling him, and that's what he ended up saying. He was like, he has to decide for himself, and I was like, right, he definitely do. You can't just let people decide for you all the time. At some point you gotta decide for yourself. But yeah, now we get to Brooklyn, Lois, and Gloria. Because I got to ask y'all, how do y'all feel about this storyline? Now, I know beforehand, everybody was saying Lulu need to mind her business. But now that the truth is out, how do y'all feel? Because Brooklyn was talking to Lois, and Gloria was defending her mama. But yeah, and she was just kept saying, like, y'all betrayed me, y'all hurt me, and all this other stuff. And she just had a problem with the way they went about things. For me, I feel like they did what she wanted them to do. Well, not, I take that back. They didn't, because it's supposed to be in a closed adoption, so they lied about that. But as far as giving the child a good home, they did that. The problem for me is when he got there. Why would you bring him around her? Well, according to her, she used to babysit the boy. So either way it go, well, I take that back. I take back everything I just said. I just thought about it. I said when they brought him around. That's the problem. But according to them, she been bringing it. He been around. He been around. She used to babysit and stuff, and you ain't tell this girl that was her child. So yeah, I'm on Brooklyn's side. In a sense, in a way, I'm on Brooklyn's side. I think Brooklyn even said, once she became an adult, they could have told and stuff. I agree with that as well. But yeah, I'm like, look, at first I was like, I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted because like, ain't like she just threw him because of the thing though is you gotta think about also Brooklyn kept saying how she didn't want to know whatever. At first she didn't want to know because she didn't want to disrupt what he had going on, stuff like that. Now it become, oh, I could have had a life with my son, this and that. So I was like, I don't know, y'all. I really don't know at this point. But yeah, I said, like, especially when he came to the quartermains or whatever, and she started talking about her son and what he'd be like, and they asked about the adoption agency. If she didn't tell right then, this is on her. It is on her. But yeah, I do like that Gloria was defending her daughter because she was the one that told her that. She was the one that encouraged her daughter to keep the child around or whatever. And they were just trying to get Brooklyn to see that they did what was right. Then they asked, she asked them. She was like, do y'all regret? She asked the mama, do you regret, basically giving Gio away to Camilla or whatever? She told me, no. I was like, girl, all this lying you've been doing, you could at least lie now. You could be like, yeah, of course I do. If I knew it was gonna hurt you like this, look, something they'll do. They ain't never lied before. Might as well. Everybody on the show some liars. Then they forget that they don't lie. But yeah, I was like, now would be the time for you to lie. She like, no, I don't regret it. I was like, you fool. You had to open it. You had to open it and you ain't take it. Well, yeah, now you want to stop lying. What? But nah, for real, what else happened? Brooklyn had told them how she'll never forgive them. What they did was unforgivable. What else? Let me see. I wrote down something else. It might be on the back. But I know Gloria was standing up for Lord. She was defending her daughter, saying, you want to be mad at anybody, be mad at me. I think the last thing she was saying how she wasn't going to forgive them, and she was telling them what they did was wrong, and that's when Gio walked in. Alexis and Marco, I was about to say Alexis and Gio. Alexis and Marco, we already talked about that basically. He was asking her about the little fund account because Suzanne had him pull up the paperwork. I was like, ain't that her job to pull up the paperwork or whatever? And she went told, and she realized what she did was wrong, and she hurried up and left up out of there. But yeah, he was just talking to her about, let me see. He said it looked like it's money laundering, and they supposed to be talking about it on tomorrow's episode. And she was like, are you accusing me of laundering money? I say, ain't that what she doing? Is that what she's doing? Is that what it's called? I don't know if that's what it's called. But yeah, I was like, girl, you going to jail. Everybody going to jail at this point. What else? I think the last thing was Dante and Sonny. He had just showed up, so they didn't get to talk about much. I said, he need to go see Michael. What the world going on? I know what I was going to say now. When they showed the promo, I didn't see Sonny in court. I did not see him there. I seen probably because he didn't want them to bring up, his past. They probably going to do that anyway. But I did see Carla. I seen Jocelyn. I seen Drew. I seen Willow. I seen Tracy on the stand. Joss was on the stand. Sasha going to be on the stand. Nina going to be on the stand. Carla's supposed to tell that Nina's the one that poisoned Drew. I said, I thought he knew. I thought he put two and two together. Look, I don't know. But yeah, and like I said, with Dante and Sonny, he had just came, and that's when he was saying how Gio was just there or whatever. What else did they talk about? I don't know if they got a chance to talk about anything. I don't know, y'all. If they did, I didn't write it down, and I can't remember. But I think that's everything. Let me know your thoughts down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, this is how girls today, and be safe.